concrete cowboys won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about Highlander. That can be only one.
Welcome back to our Haterade month.
Haterade.
This is my first choice, which I realized after watching this movie that I don't necessarily hate this movie. I just think this is quite possibly the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
That's saying a lot. You've seen a lot of movies.
That is true, actually. There's been a lot of stupid movies I've seen.
I just... Okay.
And here it comes. Caveats already.
For me, this movie growing up was something that you watch with your friends, make fun of, and it had a decent enough cinematography and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. Plus, it's got some. I love Sean Connery. I love Clancy Brown. I think for me, the worst part about this movie is Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem like a human man. He seems like an alien doing a really bad job of being a human.
He's a time-traveling meta-robot from Mark Zuckerberg.
He doesn't even look human with his weird no eyebrows and his...
The close-ups on him are so dumb.
And he's got this brow, like totally Cro-Magnon pronounced brow, and he always just looks like he doesn't... He looks like a caveman who doesn't know what's going on.
I 100% going to fault Russell Mulcahy, the director, for this, because he sought him out.
Christopher Lambert, Highlander #1.
I will say, though, there were definitely things in the movie, watching... This is only the second time I've seen it.
Yeah.
I didn't see this movie... I didn't see it when I was, 14. I saw it when I was, 35.
That's way too old, yeah.
Obviously, yes, way too old. Even at the time, though, I didn't really understand the concept and thought it was stupid before I even saw it.
They're immortals, Adam.
Yeah, whatever. It's dumb. But
the quickening.
But I will say, watching it this time, there is some really great cinematography, and Clancy Brown's great.
Oh yeah,
I think they sold him short, and especially after having done the research on this movie, I really wish they had done with the Clancy Brown character what they should have done.
Yeah,
rather than leave his entire backstory out.
Well, he, to me, is the only one that's really invested, that really is really trying as hard as he can to be good.
I mean, Connor McLeod just goes to New York and becomes an art historian or whatever.
Connor McLeod's going, art things for Sword Want. Anyway, but Sean Connery is coasting on his charm, which he can. I mean, look, he's got a glint in his eye.
Yes.
He's charming and fun.
Yes.
Apparently, he did have an accent coach. A dialect coach.
Yes, a dialect coach.
Interesting enough, did you know that if you're an Egyptian by the way of Spain, then your accent sounds exactly like that of a Scotsman?
It's Scottish. That's crazy. Yeah. Adding a little dash of Japan.
People don't know
spent
that.
Some time in Japan.
Exactly. There's just a little bit.
Like nobody noticed the weird tall Irish dude or tall
Egyptian
white dude. Sorry, white dude.
He's a little tan. They put some makeup on him.
They tried.
Give him a little Egyptian.
All right. Well.
Anyway, let's get started.
All right. Let's get into it. Take yourself back to 1986.
Nice.
January 24th, the Voyager 2 space probe makes its first encounter with Uranus.
My anus?
Yes.
Now, I don't know, did you do that for the Uranus joke or because you know I'm going to start talking about V'ger?
Both, actually.
Because V'ger's in my anus.
The Uranus joke is what brought me in, but I knew the V'ger.
It's pronounced Uranus.
Yeah. It's not according to Neil deGrasse Tyson. He doesn't care.
He's a big Uranus guy.
He's all about Uranus.
He is.
January 28th, the Space Shuttle Challenger disintegrates 73 seconds after launch from the United States, killing the crew of 7 astronauts, including school teacher Krista McAuliffe.
Yeah, there can be only one space shuttle, so that one blew up.
Yeah. Wow, that was exactly why I put that in there. There can be only one.
That was such a horrible day.
It was awful. That was the first time I saw a grown person cry.
Oh.
It was a teacher. I was in second grade, and the teacher just started weeping openly. Granted, she was also a nun, but yeah, it was weird.
Well, it hit hard for teachers, man, because there's a teacher
of course. I mean, it was like I didn't understand at the time. I was just like, that's weird, and then
the most the worst part about that, and there's a lot of things.
The very worst parts about that, yeah.
But to me, the worst part about that is the fact that they were alive as they were plummeting to their death.
Yeah, they didn't die right away.
No.
That was the worst part.
Because you're just sitting there looking at each other like...
Yeah, it's like, well,
there we go.
This is it. Yeah. Not fun. So glad I included it.
Yeah. Way to start with an upper.
Well, you try to find 3 things that are corresponding to Highlander in 1986. That's not just Highlander.
Okay.
February 3rd, Pixar is founded by John Lasseter along with Steve Jobs.
That's some good news.
Yeah, that's weird. I didn't realize it was 86. I thought it was later than that.
No, they started doing their shorts and stuff then.
That's right. March 7th, Highlander's released in theaters.
Yeah, baby. Highlander.
So Gregory Wyden wrote the script for Highlander as a class assignment while he was an undergraduate in the screenwriting program at UCLA, then under the title of Shadow Clan.
Okay. There was a worse title than Highlander.
Hate so much of this. Wyden also used Ridley Scott's 1977 film The Duelists as inspiration for his story, which I still haven't seen. We talked about this during our Alien episode.
Right.
I still haven't seen The Duelists.
Good movie.
Yeah. After reading the script, Wyden's instructor advised him to send it to an agent. And then he sold the script for $200,000.
I hate this because I know so many really good writers with really good scripts that have just been wallowing in nothing. And then this gets paid about...
Yep. Just wait. There's going to be so much more to hate about this. It became the first draft of what would eventually be the screenplay for the film. According to Wyden,
the idea of the story was basically a combination of a riff on The Duelists. A guy wants to finish a duel over years. And a visit I made both Scotland and the Tower of London Armour Display where I thought, what if you owned all this? What if you worn it all the way through history and were going to give someone a tour of your life through it? The scene is basically in the movie. What?
So he saw a bunch of armor. It's the scene where Christopher Lambert shows all the stuff in his house or giant apartment or whatever.
Is this a museum?
To the lady. Yeah, like that's the scene that was inspired by this.
Nice life, my life things. What? I'm in Scotland. If I'm in Scotland.
Yeah, it's funny how no one has the accent they're supposed to have in this movie.
No, why wasn't he from France? Okay, I'm starting to get into
Again, Russell Mulcahy. We'll get to it. William Panzer, producer of Highlander the series, said of the original script,
and that's where everything fell into place. The idea that there are mortals and they were in conflict with each other, leading secret lives that the rest of us were unaware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. Wyden also said,
I've always been amazed that a project I wrote as a UCLA student has had this kind of life. I think its appeal is the uniqueness of how the story was told and the fact that it had a heart and a point of view about immortality. Get it?
Pretty sure we're all amazed that this movie was made has spawned so much media.
Oh my God. I mean, not only TV shows and movies, but an animated show?
Yeah. Wyden worked as a firefighter for 3 years while still an undergraduate at UCLA.
Okay.
I think your impression's probably pretty spot on. He witnessed a person being killed by an explosive backdraft, which became the basis for the screenplay he wrote for the movie Backdraft, directed by Ron Howard and starring Kurt Russell, William Baldwin, Scott Glenn, Donald Sutherland, and Robert De Niro. Released in 1991, Backdraft received 3 Academy Award nominations.
Yep, it sure did. It's just so thin. It's just such a thin movie.
You are just supporting more my hate for Highlander.
Well, I have more hate for Backdraft, I think. Because it should have been a good movie.
It should have been. I mean, so should have Highlander.
But you put the lesser Baldwins in a movie, and you're going to tank it.
Yeah, bad. Backdraft was turned into a ride for Universal Studios Hollywood, opened in 1992 and closed in 2010.
I went on it.
I did too. And Universal Studios Japan, where it's still active. I went to the Universal Orlando. They had it there.
Oh.
But that was the first time. It was cool. It was fun. Backdraft.
Don't open the door.
A lot of fire. It's very hot.
Don't open that door.
Don't open that door.
Because you won't get a backdraft.
That's literally the whole script.
It is.
In 1995, Wyden wrote and directed the supernatural thriller The Prophecy, starring Christopher Walken, Virginia Madsen, Eric Stoltz, and Viggo Mortensen.
That's a guilty pleasure. I know you hate it, but it's a guilty pleasure.
I hate that movie so much. The film spawned 4 sequels: The Prophecy 2 in 1998, The Ascent in 2000, Uprising in 2005, and Forsaken in 2005.
How great. You got 2 Prophecy movies in 2005. What a wonderful year. This guy has spawned franchises from garbage.
I know. It's amazing. He's like King Midas. Everything he touches turns to gold somehow.
Maybe he decided to deal with the Devi.
Wyden was the creator, writer, and executive producer of the series Rescue 77 and wrote for Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
Wyden also wrote the sequel to Backdraft, Backdraft 2, which was released in 2019.
What?
And this is the first time I've realized that Backdraft 2 existed.
Wait, what?
It came out in 2019.
Where?
Theaters?
No.
It didn't have anybody from the original. No, I take that back. There's one character.
The Baldwin?
I don't know if it was the Baldwin or not. I think so.
Probably, because it's the only one who was stupid enough to be in that.
What else would he be doing?
You're not getting De Niro. I'm going to pass.
Wyden also released a novel in 2013, but there is no other word on his creative output, so I don't know what he's doing. I don't remember what it was called.
Backdraft.
Stupid. No, it was some sci-fi thing.
The immortal backdraft of the prophecy.
I think it had to do with the internet, sci-fi and the internet. I don't know.
Well, it's probably going to be another crap franchise.
I mean, his track record is so good that I imagine it's gold.
Okay.
A bit about the immortal mythology in the Highlander franchise. This is just so that we are clear when we start talking about this.
Yeah, we got to know the mythology, Adam. You can't understand a complex movie like Highlander.
When we were watching this, we actually argued about the quickening, so I had to make sure that it was in there.
Quickening is very important.
It is.
It's like the metachlorines of Star Wars. A little bit of
so stupid.
The quickening, I'm gonna go. I feel the other guys. Here comes some lightning quickening.
Right up the old hoo-ha.
Hubba-boo.
Yeah. Human beings born with the power of the quickening become immortal if they suffer a premature death by unnatural means, such as violence.
Okay.
Meaning, apparently, in the Highlander world, there were people that were immortal but just died naturally, so they never were immortal.
Duh.
Yeah. Stupid number 1. All right. After the first death, they are ageless and invulnerable to death unless their head is removed or destroyed.
So, like, if a kid gets beaten to death, he's always going to be a kid?
Yeah. I like the idea of someone... Well, because obviously, like, Egyptian... Sean Connery is obviously older, so he must have died violently when he was older.
When I was in my 50s.
I mean, I can just imagine being on your deathbed and then someone like, stab me right away.
It was a violent bowel movement.
Yeah.
It took me.
This is actually, Elvis was a Highlander immortal.
Was he?
He violently died on the toilet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
This is how people keep seeing him still. Yeah, he's around.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a Highlander. There can be any more.
From the time they are born, immortals and quote-unquote pre-immortals cannot biologically have children. So if you literally can't have kids, it's maybe a good reason that you're an immortal.
Maybe I'm an immortal.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Immortals can sense each other's presence and may take quickening power from another of their kind by beheading them, as we so wonderfully saw at the beginning of Highlander.
Yes, and every time you do, apparently you have to say, there can be only one.
There can be only one.
That one could be only. Or as how Christopher Lambert says it.
They duel each other across the centuries, a deadly game with few rules. One day, the last few will fight during the gathering, and the survivor will win the prize. The collected energy of all immortals who ever lived, enough power to conquer or destroy humanity.
Okay, so also, you can't fight on hollow ground. You can't go killing somebody in a church. That's part of the nose.
Yes and no.
I mean, you could, but it's like a no-no.
You could, but it's considered a faux pas amongst immortals.
And you don't just get the power to conquer everybody. You also can read all of their thoughts, and you get the collective intelligence and everything of humanity.
Yeah, but they don't talk about... Do they talk about that in the movie?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's why, like, Christopher Lambert isn't going to be, taking over everything. He's going to be listening to people's thoughts.
He's just going to listen to people. I'm just going to sit around and be all-knowing and essentially become God.
Danny wants sandwich of ham.
In the end, there can be only one, and unfortunately, in this movie, spoiler, it's Christopher Lambert.
Christopher Lambert.
Wyden's this literally pains me going through this. Wyden's original draft of the script differed significantly from the film.
Okay.
The initial story was darker and more violent.
Great.
Thumbs up for that.
Sure.
Connor was born in 1408 rather than 1518.
Well, duh.
Don't know why they changed it. He lives with his mother and father and a younger brother. Heather does not exist. She was the
wife?
The first wife. Connor is promised to a girl named Mara, who rejects him when she learns that he is immortal, because that's weird.
Well, it is weird.
I mean, he's a witch, essentially. They did keep elements of that in the movie. Connor willingly leaves his village after his clan's attitude towards him changes instead of being banished.
We don't like you anymore, Connor.
He just gets mad and leaves.
I think I leave then. Bye-bye.
His alias is Richard Taupin, and his weapon is a custom broadsword.
My name is Richard Taupin.
God. Ramirez is a Spaniard born in 1100 instead of an ancient Egyptian born more than 2,000 years earlier. Because why would they add that in? Who knows? Yep,
just to complicate matters.
So many sighs. The Kurgan is known as the Knight, using the alias Carl William Smith.
Yeah, I'm Carl William Smith.
There can be only one.
Oh, I'm Carl Smith, an immortal.
He is not a savage, but a cold-blooded killer. Brenda is Brenna Cartwright, a historian of the Smithsonian who sometimes helps the police.
Oh, that seems
which is similar, but she's technically a cop. Oh, kind of. Oh, no, I thought she was.
No, she works for the museum. She was a forensic historian or something.
But she does hide from him that she's working with the cops.
Well, she was asked to come look at the sword.
Right.
Because she's a forensic
that whole scene where he just is like, I have a present for you, and it's her book, and so she knows that he knows exactly who she is.
I got you with your book.
Yeah, another scene that was utterly pointless.
Oh, yeah.
Other elements were changed during the rewrite. Initially, immortals could have children. In the first draft, Connor is said to have had 37 kids.
Well, they're all dead. That's a lot of graves to dig.
Maybe he was trying to pass it on. The immortality.
Well, what's the poop on that? Can you do it? Can you? No. Is it hereditary?
No, it's all random. As far as I know, I didn't watch the entire franchise and all of the stuff.
I can't believe you just didn't do the work.
Oh my God, I'd slit my wrists if I had to do that. In a flashback in the first draft, Connor attends the funeral of one of his sons. His wife in her 70s and his two sons, who are in their mid-50s, see him revealed as an immortal.
Dad? Well, you're an immortal?
I will say was covered much better in the movie with the first wife, where she's just old.
Dies.
And really poor makeup.
Yes.
And then dies. In the early draft, there is no release of energy when an immortal kills another, nor is there any mention of the prize.
Okay.
Immortals can still sense each other, and when Connor finally kills the knight, he feels a sharp burning pain.
Ouch!
As he senses another immortal nearby, the ending implies this is simply one of many battles as the game continues.
All right. Sounds kind of pointless.
Well, but that would have been more interesting to me.
Yeah.
And actually would have helped the movies afterwards.
Sure.
If they had done that.
Okay.
So Russell Mulcahy was hired to direct Highlander. Mulcahy started his career as a music video director.
Yep.
Very obvious from the movie. He directed the Vapors hit Turning Japanese in 1980. And the video for the Buggles video Killed the Radio Star in 1979, which became the very first music video played on MTV in 1981.
Video Killed the Radio Star.
And I will say the song is much more memorable than the video.
Turning Japanese is about masturbating.
It is.
And it's very racist.
Okay, thanks.
Just want to point that out.
Yes.
Because you know what? None of the people singing about turning Japanese are actually Japanese.
No, it's not. It's about squinting your eyes. It's very racist, yeah.
It is.
It is.
And I've never heard that euphemism for masturbation.
No, I think they made it up. It became a huge hit.
Wow, that's kind of racist, Bob. Do you think we should really sing about that? I don't care.
Nobody's going to know what it means.
Nobody cares now. Everything's racist. It's the 80s. Everybody's a stereotype.
He also directed videos for
Culture Club, The Human League, The Stranglers, XTC, The Sex Pistols, Paul McCartney, Ultravox, Duran Duran, Kim Carnes, Ice House, Spandau Ballet, Fleetwood Mac, Billy Joel, Bonnie Tyler, The Motels, Rod Stewart, and Elton John.
He directed a lot of music videos.
Kim Carnes, She saw some Betty Davis eyes.
She did. In 1982, Mulcahy said that he had been approached to make a feature film about a movie palace by David Putnam, producer of Chariots of Fire, who had success working with first-time directors from TV commercials.
Okay.
However, the film was never made. Mulcahy's first dramatic feature was Razorback in 1984 about the attacks of a gigantic wild boar terrorizing the Australian outback, killing and devouring people.
I have seen this movie. It is not bad, actually.
The film was a box office disappointment, but has become a cult favorite, so he was perfect for Highlander.
Look, I think you might like that one.
I will check it out. I mean, I don't think this movie was directed poorly.
No, but it's very much directed by a music video director because it's got some great shots. It's got some awesome transitions.
Ugh.
A lot of plot holes.
Yeah.
A lot of plot holes because he doesn't give an S.
No, he doesn't care.
It
looks cool.
Yeah. There's some really bad continuity. Like, where's the sword come from? And there was something else that was just so glaringly bad. That it was so bad I can't even remember.
Yeah, block that stuff out. So they cast Christopher Lambert as Connor McLeod.
Hi, Christopher Lambert. Gonna be actor man for you.
Supposedly from Scotland.
I am Scotland from.
I don't even think he's from France. Like, his accent is so weird.
I love haggis.
Mulcahy originally considered Kurt Russell and Mickey Rourke for the role of Connor McLeod.
Both great choices.
I would have loved Kurt Russell in this movie.
Oh my God.
I would have loved this movie
everybody
if Kurt
would
Russell
have.
was in it.
Because it would have been another cult classic.
Yeah.
Because he's a man who transcends material.
He does.
Every time you say Mulcahy, I just think of Father Mulcahy from MASH. I can't.
Sorry.
I can't not
I'll just call him Russ. Is that cool?
Now I'm going to think of this kid I knew named Russ and just pick his nose a lot.
Unfortunately, Russell Mulcahy was flipping through a magazine and saw a photograph of Christopher Lambert from his recent role as the title hero of Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes.
Yeah, where he didn't have to talk, and he just looked dumb.
He couldn't even speak English. He didn't talk at all.
He couldn't speak at all?
No.
He was a mute?
I don't think he talked at all during the movie.
Oh, no.
No, not in real life.
No, if only, right?
He would just sign, there can be only one.
Yeah, he was, again, it's just that brow. He just looks like...
He's perfect for Tarzan.
Sure, or a caveman, or, some sort of...
blank dead eyes.
Yes. Just... nothing going on upstairs, I don't think.
No, it's so weird. He showed the photo to his production staff and...
I said, "Who's this?" They had no idea. He couldn't speak English, but he had the perfect look, and he learned English very fast. So, the perfect look is just a dumb Cro-Magnon, blank staring...
Well, maybe Russell Mulcahy thought this is how people looked in the 1500s. They just looked dumb. Ironically, Lambert was actually born in Great Neck, New York on March 29th, 1957, the son of a French diplomat at the United Nations. Okay. He's technically American.
We're not claiming him.
He made his acting debut in a school play at the age of 12. Lambert had been in a number of French films when he was selected to play Tarzan in Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes in 1984. Andie MacDowell actually made her film debut in the movie, and it also starred Ian Holm and Ralph Richardson in his final film role.
Yeah, and
you've seen this,
of course.
Yeah.
Andie MacDowell, poor Andie MacDowell. It was like again, it was kind of like the debut of Jessica Lange in King Kong.
Oh,
where
yeah.
It was this model that was in a movie, and they weren't very good.
Yeah.
And then she got a lot better. But
she got way better.
It was an inauspicious debut.
Nah. It would end up being nominated for 3 Oscars: Best Supporting Actor for Richardson, posthumously, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Makeup.
I guess
it didn't win any of them, so it didn't matter. Lambert would play MacLeod in 3 of the Highlander sequels and in 1 episode of the TV show.
I show up for 1 episode. Just the one.
For most of his career, Lambert has bounced between doing French films and mostly B movies in America.
Where has been Christopher Lambert gone?
Oh, we'll get to it here. He actually played Raiden in the 1995 Mortal Kombat adaptation. I want to thank my mother for taking me to that movie in 1995 and having to sit and watch that entire movie, even though I knew she hated it.
Well, did you want to see it? Of course.
I did. Yeah, Damien and I went and saw it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your mom took you and your buddy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It was nice. In 2016, he co-starred in Hail Caesar, a comedy film written, produced, edited, and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen about the real-life fixer Eddie Mannix, played by Josh Brolin, working in the Hollywood film industry in the 1950s.
I think I did it better.
I still haven't seen Hail Caesar. I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to agree.
Hail Caesar's fine. It's not their best.
So that's the last thing that he did. He'll next be seen in a Finnish monster movie called The Creeps, which has no release date.
I am the Creeps. I've come for you and your children. Come to get the Creeps.
Definitely The Creeps.
There can be one only, and I am the Creeps.
It's like he's here in the room.
Hi.
Sean Connery was cast as Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez.
Yes, I'm Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez.
An Egyptian immortal.
Yes, I come from Egyptian.
Changed his name when he was in Spain and then just never changed it again.
Yeah, that's Ramirez. It's a very common Egyptian name.
He lived for a while in Japan and then later in Spain.
That's where I got my sword.
Why he went Juan Sanchez Villalobos. Yeah, he's got a sword in Japan.
My sword was from Japan.
From a guy who was making swords 1,500 years before they were actually possible in Japan. Yeah. Because why? This movie's stupid. Connery agreed to reprise Bond as an Agent 007 in Never Say Never Again, released in October of 1983.
Yeah, it was the competing movie. It was the first, I think, non-broccoli made movie. I saw that in a special screening with my friend Phil, yeah.
Oh, nice.
We were both huge Bond heads.
Yeah. The title, contributed by his wife, refers to his earlier statement that he would never again return to the role. Although the film performed well at the box office, it was plagued with production problems.
Yes, and as soon as he said it, I slapped her across the face.
Strife between the director and producer, financial problems, the Fleming estate trustees' attempts to halt the film, and Connery's wrist being broken by the fight choreographer Steven Seagal.
Hey, sorry about that. I can't lift my leg. You're a horrible fight coordinator. I'm going to Russia.
As a result of his negative experiences during filming, Connery became unhappy with the major studios and did not make any films for 2 years.
I'm extremely unhappy.
He did have a movie, Sword of the Valiant, released in 1984, where he cameoed as the legendary Green Knight, but it was filmed before Never Say Never Again. It just took a long time to be released. He returned to filmmaking with the movie The Name of the Rose, the medieval mystery based on the Umberto Eco novel.
Yes.
He would eventually win a BAFTA award for his performance in the film.
That's a good movie.
It's a great movie. I really actually like The Name of the Rose.
It's a cool, murder mystery.
It's a good concept for a murder mystery film, yeah.
With a bunch of monks.
A bunch of monks in the 1300s.
It's a monkey murder mystery.
Wait, there's monkeys?
That 3 times.
There's monkeys in it?
Yeah. Okay. Monkey monks.
Monkey monks. That would be great. It was actually the monkey did it. That same year, he took the role in Highlander, played a mentor to a younger character, which would become a motif for the roles he played for the rest of his career.
Who's the man now, dog?
The following year, in 1987, Connery would appear in The Untouchables with Kevin Costner from Brian De Palma and win an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
That's the Chicago way.
The movie's so good.
Oh, my God.
So good. Despite his character dying in Highlander, as we watched him get his head cut off.
In the laziest fight ever. All of the fight, whoever the fight choreographer was just a stoner or something. It was just so badly timed. It's every time it's like, oh, here comes. You could see their little mouths going, 1, 2, 3, clink. 1, 2, 3, clink. 1, 2, 3, clink.
Yeah.
Cut. Perfect.
It wasn't good. This is why they added in the whole tower collapsing around them to make it more interesting.
That was cool, though.
Was it?
I guess. I mean, it was a cool practical effect.
What was the point of that? How was that happening?
Because they're so strong, dude. They're immortals.
Just like he would randomly tap on the wall and it just explode outwards.
Scottish architecture was really crappy back then. It was held together with dung and mud.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
Just saying.
So despite the character dying in Highlander, Connery would reprise the role of his Egyptian, Spanish, Japanese Scotsman in Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Guess who's back? I'm quickening.
His last appearance in a feature film was in The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as Alan Quatermain, which is considered to be one of the worst movies ever made.
That movie was so goddamn disappointing, man.
Disappointing.
So disappointing.
So disappointing. The comic is so good.
So good.
So good.
And such a great concept.
Yeah.
And you got Jules Verne. You have all these really great, turn of the century anti-heroes.
Yeah, yeah.
And Sean Connery.
And yeah,
Alan Quatermain.
It's a great concept, and unfortunately it was made around the mid 2000s,
Yep.
where it was just like, let's just throw everything at everything and it'll be whatever.
That was the worst part of the executive driven blockbuster.
Oh God,
where
it was
just
terrible.
Filmed by committee, and that was also kind of like what the last movie on our Haterade, Explorers, where it's just like, you don't need a script, just start filming.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll figure it out.
Come on, there's already comic books. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. He retired from acting in 2006 and died on Halloween in 2020 at the age of 90 in his home in the Bahamas.
Boo! That was my last words were boo, I'm a ghost. Happy Halloween.
Oh, he was so good.
He was great. He was absolutely fantastic.
Anything he's in is so fun to watch.
He is the epitome of charm when it comes to acting. Like the twinkle in his eye as the Spaniard. It was fun. It's like...
I like him in this movie.
Sure.
I just wish they had clarified his backstory. Just a hair.
Love his costume.
There was no reason to make him an Egyptian Spaniard with a katana. There was no reason.
Could we make my character more silly and complicated? Please. I hate Hollywood.
Just made him from Scotland. I just don't get it. That would have been even something else they had a connection to.
Well, Scotland wasn't around back then.
Yes, I guess technically it wasn't. This movie's stupid.
Okay.
Clancy Brown was cast as the Kurgan. Connor's nemesis, said to be the last of the Kurgan tribe and a sadistic, murderously brutal barbarian. Really likes to dress like he's the Terminator.
That's what I did every time he walked around.
Every time.
And I love how he's like, I cut my hair so weird that nobody would ever recognize
And the
me.
fact that they had to make that a reveal, it was like he's looking. Christopher Lambert's, they're in the church, and he's looking down, and they look up and they pan up, and it is the worst bald cap I've ever seen.
It's not even a bald. He's got like chunks of hair coming. It looks
awful.
Give me the Jason Voorhees, the Camp Crystal Lake special.
It was so stupid and made no. I hate this because Clancy Brown's so good, and he's actually good in this part.
Yes,
because he's the only one that understood the assignment.
Yes,
to quote the kids, he's the only one that understood that he was in a stupid movie and he could be whatever he could just be big and stupid.
He got his little tongue out.
He's almost worth watching the movie.
Well, look, I say it is worth watching, but we'll get into it.
I know. Clancy Brown was born Clarence Brown III. His grandfather, Clarence Brown, was an Ohioan congressman from 1939 to 1965.
Ooh.
His father, Clarence Bud Brown Jr., had the same seat in Congress from 65 to 83.
Oh, Bud Brown.
That means they're probably friends with your uncle, great-uncle?
Great-uncle.
Great-uncle.
Sam Rayburn.
Sam Rayburn. Clancy's grandfather started a newspaper publishing business in 1920.
Man, let's get the papers. Let's get them out there. Come on, reporters. Let's go. 23 screw.
I just love that. It's like that he's like, well, I got a newspaper. Now I'm going to become the congressman. No bad things are ever going to be written about me.
Yeah, not in his hometown, that's for sure.
It ran for 90 years before ceasing operations in 2010.
Yeah, because all newspapers died because people are jerks.
They are. Brown was in a number of films before Highlander. He made his feature debut in the 1983 Sean Penn film Bad Boys.
I think he was the bad boy, wasn't he? Wasn't he the guy that...
I think so.
I'm going to punch you in the face, Sean.
I've never actually seen the Sean Penn film Bad Boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I always... I think it's because I always associated it with the... not worse, but the Bad Boy... current... modern Bad Boys.
Yeah, the absolute opposite.
Complete different movie.
This one takes place in a juvenile center. When we do our Penn Pals month
God.
about Sean Penn, we'll include that one.
Okay. He had a featured part in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension in 1984.
Oh, he was great. Oh, God, I love that movie so much.
Yeah. I've seen that. It's been a long time. I don't remember any of it.
He's one of the Banzai guys.
Yeah. Peter Weller, he's great.
No, he was, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just saying Peter Weller in the movie was great.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
In 1985, he was in Thunder Alley, the Leif Garrett vehicle.
Oh, such a great movie. Oh, my God. Leif Garrett? No, awful. Just kidding.
It's so bad. He was also in The Bride, starring Sting and Jennifer Beals, based on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. When they were trying to make Sting a thing.
They did that a lot.
They tried so hard.
And people were not having it. They didn't want Gordon Sumner.
It's the same with Mick Jagger. They kept trying to throw Mick Jagger in movies, and it was like, no. We're good.
So bad. What was that? Free Jack?
Free Jack, yeah.
I'm going to get you.
He's on top of that tank with the helmet. He looked so stupid.
It's time. I'm going to get you.
Initially, Wyden had a different version of the Kurgan.
Kurgan was the thing that was most different about my screenplay. He was much more tortured. The Kurgan in Highlander is pretty much like Freddy. He's just a cackling psychopath. I envisioned him as a guy who loses everything over time. The only thing he could hold on to give him a reason to get up in the morning was to finish this thing. Finish it with our guy. It was more about that. It was just a reason to get up in the morning. Otherwise, what is the point? Everything is permanent. Everything's lost. That guy made him much more serious. In a weird way, a sympathetic bad guy.
Sounds much more interesting. I mean, not that I like what Clancy Brown did with it. Just because it is a silly movie, and he did a good job of being over the top.
Yeah.
But he could have had such an interesting background.
And Clancy could have done it.
Yes. Totally.
He's such a great layered actor. Look at him in Carnival, or look at him
Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank, yeah. I mean, the guy is a master at acting.
He is.
And even this, but it's like... He leaned into it. He's like, okay, I guess this guy's just a dick, so I'm going to dick it up.
You know that he had conversations with Mulcahy, and he was like, no, we're just make him a killing machine. And
can we go back to the script and make him a little bit more, have some depth? No, just play it like, just stick your tongue out a lot, and we'll put you in leathers.
He's crazy. Make him crazy.
Okay, but whatever. I'm not very happy.
Wyden commented that actor Clancy Brown had similar thoughts about the Kurgan, wishing to make him more complex and interesting by dressing the villain in a bowler hat and suit, disguising his villainy rather than wearing the biker outfit he had instead.
That's why I love Clancy Brown. He was so right. It's just like, it was so cliche, and they were just trying to make him into the Terminator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brown has had a long career in film, TV voiceover with that distinctive voice, and in video games. He appeared in 3 films in 2023. Scrambled, a comedy written, directed, and starring Leah McKendrick, also starring Ego Nwodim.
I love Ego Nwodim.
She's so good.
She is fantastic. Yeah, so there's a great podcast that's based on the IFC show, Comedy Bang Bang.
Yeah, it was created by one of the guys from Mr. Show.
Hosted by Scott Aukerman.
Yeah, from Mr. Show. Yeah.
And they do a great podcast based on that, and it's all improvised. And Ego Nwodim always came on, and it's really funny because people would always come on and be like, I'm a businessman. And that was kind of the running joke.
Yeah.
But she was effing hilarious. She's one of my favorite on Saturday Night Live. She is just so... I just... Every time I see her in something, it's pure joy.
Clancy Brown was also in John Wick Chapter 4 as the Harbinger, which is really good. Whenever you have a chance to see it. Whenever it comes on to streaming, that's not something we don't have.
Yeah, everything that I want to see goes to Stars.
Yeah. There was something just recently that I was like, oh, I want to see that, and it's on Stars.
John Wick 4?
There's something after that. He was also in Dumb Money, the movie about the GameStop Wall Street short squeeze, which I still haven't watched yet.
It was good.
Oh, did you see it?
It was fine.
He's also in 2 TV shows. He was in the premiere episode of Ahsoka. If you remember him in that?
Yeah.
I kind of barely remember him in that.
Yeah. I don't really remember.
I remember thinking, I was like, oh, yeah, I wish he had a bigger part.
He seems like he shows up in everything.
He does. He works a lot.
And if he doesn't, he should.
He was also in 2 episodes as Rich Brink in the show Gen V, which I still have not watched yet.
Oh, yeah, he was great. Oh, he was really good at that.
He's great in everything. He'll also appear in the new Max series The Penguin, coming sometime in 2024. Another reason to actually watch that. Roxanne Hart was cast as Brenda Wyatt, a forensic scientist and published metallurgy expert.
Of course.
Yes. Hart started as a theater actor, appearing on Broadway and eventually earning a Tony nomination.
She's got that vibe.
She does. She had supporting parts in The Verdict in 1982, directed by Sidney Lumet. Sidney Lumet, every time. Not Christopher Lambert, it's Christopher Lambert.
Is it?
No, it's Lambert. I just can't. I don't know why. I always think his name is French. I don't know why.
My name for French.
Much like David Mamet. Mamet. No. In 1983, she appeared in the TV movie Special Bulletin, directed by Edward Zick, based around a fake news broadcast about a group of terrorists with an atomic bomb on a tugboat. We have literally referenced this movie like 6 times.
Edward Zwick didn't he do Glory?
Did Glory. Yeah, he did a bunch of... he's a great director.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this Special Bulletin is on YouTube. It's really good.
Okay.
It's done as like a live broadcast.
Right. I remember when it came out.
It does not end well. But it's good. It's really good. She also had a supporting part in Oh God, You Devil in 1984, starring George Burns.
Yeah, starring George Burns. I was playing the devil and I was playing God, and you couldn't tell the difference between... You know how you could tell the difference?
How?
As God, I wore a white suit, and as the devil, I wore a red suit.
Wow, that seems really obvious, man.
I'm 100 years young, smoking cigars.
It's funny. I know I've seen this movie. I don't remember any of it.
Which one?
Oh God, You Devil.
Oh, yeah, it was the worst of the Oh God movies.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. It was horrible. The first one's great with he and John Denver. It's very funny.
Oh, yeah,
it's a very good
yeah.
movie. The first Oh God is great. And then Oh God Part 2, I think, is about a little girl or something.
That sounds familiar.
And then Oh God, You Devil. Yeah, I'm the
Kind
devil.
of ringing that a little too tight. Just squeezing it a little too much.
I gotta have both sides of the same coin.
She had a consistent career, including a 5-episode guest stint on Dream On in 1992.
Dream on, dream on.
It's a very underrated show. I really like that
And
show.
an underrated song.
Yeah. Is it? I mean, it's literally the song that made them famous. 46 episodes of Chicago Hope from 1994 to 1998.
That's where most people know her from.
Yeah. She was nominated for a SAG Award for her role on the show. Hart has made a ton of appearances in TV over the years. Her most recent role was in the film Rachel Hendricks, starring Laurie Singer.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't know anything else about it. Beatty Edney is Heather McLeod, Connor's first wife. Edney is mostly a stage and TV performer, but gained more notice due to Highlander. She would actually reprise the role in 2000's Highlander Endgame.
Connor McLeod, why don't you have an accent like me? I come from part of Scotland different, you from. I alien man.
Her many television appearances include a leading role in the 1986 television series Lost Empires, based on the novel by J.B. Priestley, in which she acted alongside Colin Firth.
Nice.
She's also appeared in episodes of a host of successful British television dramas, such as
Rosemary and Thyme, A Touch of Frost, Prime Suspect, Inspector Morse, and its spin-off, Lewis, Agatha Christie's Poirot, and Wallander. Wallander's a really good show, actually.
Agatha Christie's Poirot is really good, too.
So she's good.
She's good, yeah. She can most recently be seen in an episode of the first season of Andor as a judge.
I judge you wrong.
It was a very short scene, but...
Case closed.
She was good. She was good in this.
She's always good.
I wish they had explored more of their relationship and how they met and stuff, but she was good.
It wasn't it was a thankless part, though. I mean, it was a lot of, like, yelling and screaming and...
Well, and it was, especially when they were fighting, when Connery and Clancy Brown were fighting. It was just her standing inside the crumbling tower screaming.
Then there was the whole, okay, let's just get to this part real quick. So Connery and Brown have this epic fight where they destroy their home that has no roof.
Well, it's not, it's they have a cottage. Like, there's another cottage where they actually sleep and stuff. Mm-hmm. But that tower, I guess, was for storing things?
Whatever. It's so confusing. But anyway, so after Clancy chops off, I've lost my head. Last joke. Then he, like, grabs her.
Well, he gets the quickening, and then the one final stairwell crumbles, and he falls. And it looks like he falls like 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
But no, he doesn't.
It was only 10 feet. But he pops his... And then it's like, he's got her. And then we cut to happy times.
Yeah.
Happy times with Lambert and her. And then we find out that...
much later.
She was raped by him.
Yeah, later, just randomly, when the Kurgan and Connor McLeod are finally fighting, he's like, it was your wife.
When I defeated the Spaniard, I took your wife as my own.
the whole thing was just weird.
You're a bastard for taking wife of mine. I'm going to cut head for you off.
When we were watching it, that went long enough because it cut away right as he's like grabbing her throat that I eventually turned to Jim and I was like, they're just going to leave that.
Yeah.
That's it. Well. Because then it came back and they were super happy. And it was like, oh, nothing happened.
Yes. Pacing and editing on this film is a little weird.
Alan North was cast as Lieutenant Frank Moran, Brenda's colleague in the NYPD.
Hey, I'm a lieutenant. I look just like him. I'm a little guy with a trench coat and a gray hair and a attitude about being a cop.
Yeah, that's true. North was in the Navy during World War II and became a stage manager and actor on Broadway after the war ended.
I'm going to manage your stage for you. You know, I'm a vet.
I can also do some acting.
I can act for you.
His film career included roles in
Plaza Suite, Serpico, The Formula, Track Down, Finding the Good Bar Killer, Thief of Hearts, Highlander, Act of Vengeance, Billy Galvin, The Fourth Protocol, Lean on Me, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Glory, and The Long Kiss Goodnight.
On television, he played Captain Ed Hawken in the 1982 television series Police Squad.
That's where everybody knows him from, because he was absolutely hilarious.
He also appeared on the soap opera Another World in the recurring role of Captain Sean Delaney from 84 to 88.
I'm playing another cop.
That was my mother's, again, I say this every time, my mother's favorite soap opera, Another World.
I like playing cops.
Yeah, he looks like a cop. He appeared in 3 episodes of Law & Order, playing 3 different characters.
3 different cops. 3 different flavors of cop. Good cop, bad cop, so-so cop.
His last film was in Abilene in 1999, starring Ernest Borgnine. North died of lung and kidney cancer in a hospital in Port Jefferson, New York on January 19th, 2000 at the age of 79.
Oh.
Yeah, lung and kidney cancer is terrible.
You know, just quickly, there's a really funny hot mic moment with Ernest Borgnine on some talk show. And they're like, oh, and when we come back, Ernest Borgnine's going to tell us what the secret is to his longevity. Because he was like in his 90s. And he leans over and he's like, it's masturbating. I masturbate every day, and that keeps me healthy. It's like, okay, gross, right. Ernest. You're 100 years old, and now I can't do anything but picture you masturbating.
Well, he just really liked to turn Japanese.
All right. Okay, we're going to bring it back.
John Polito was cast as Detective Walter Bedso.
John Polito.
That is, oh my God, that is scarily accurate. He works alongside Moran in the NYPD. In a film and television career spanning 35 years, Polito amassed over 220 credits. His television roles included Detective Steve Crossetti in the first 2 seasons of Homicide: Life on the Street.
Oh, so good. Oh, my God.
Another
you
show
need
I
to watch that show.
I know. And Phil Bartoli on the first season of Crime Story. He also appeared in several films, including The Rocketeer, The Crow, Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins, Blank Man, The Green Mile, Stuart Little, and Gangster Squad, as well as his work with the Coen brothers.
You give me the hi-hat. Why you give me the hi-hat? You give me the hi-hat. Go give me the hi-hat.
He appeared in 5 other films, including Miller's Crossing, Barton Fink, and The Big Lebowski. He's great. I mean, he's great. Like, he always pulls in a solid performance.
He's amazing. One of my favorite performances is he was Ed O'Neill's nemesis on Modern Family.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The closets
guy. Closets. That's right. I totally forgot about that.
They were so hilarious together.
Oh, they were great.
And when because he died while still on that show.
Yeah.
And I think they had his character pass as well.
Yeah,
and I think the last thing he did was like a great prank on Ed O'Neill.
It was, he turned to voiceover as he got older, voicing Batman's Commissioner Loeb in a number of TV series, movies, and video games. Polito died from multiple myeloma on September 1st, 2016 at the City of Hope National Medical Center, where he was being treated. He was 65 years old.
Way too young.
Way too young.
It's such a solid and great character actor. I loved him so much. And he was gay.
Well, oh, was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. And at a time, I think that's what kind of exacerbated his drug problems. Was because of being, he got married to actor Daryl Armbruster on October 16th, 2015, 15 years after they met.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not long before he passed.
No, but at least he had
he got to do it. He got to get married, Good for them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's just, again, anytime anybody has to live, anytime somebody cannot live their truth, it just breaks my heart. And it just causes so many problems.
Agreed. Sheila Gish was cast as Rachel Ellenstein, Connor's middle-aged secretary and adopted daughter, who Connor saved from the Nazis by Connor when she was a Jewish child during the Holocaust.
Hi, you from Nazi? Going to save you put in museum?
This is the point when I want to point out that the version we watched was, I think, the international cut.
Okay.
And the scene where he gets her in the U.S. cut was cut from that movie.
So it
literally makes no sense.
Right. We just know that they kind of know each other.
I think. Don't get me... there's like 5 different cuts of this movie, so I don't know... They're all between 111 and 116 minutes long, and I don't. Some stuff is cut out and some's not. Anyway.
Well, it's a complicated movie, Adam.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
Maybe we just saw the wrong cut. Maybe the right cut makes everything
sure
makes sense.
Yes. I should watch all of them. All of them.
I think you should. Before Stepdad Show, I want you to watch all the cuts, all the sequels, and the series.
I'm not. I told you I would slip my wrists. I'm not doing that.
Let's see.
Gish was mainly a British TV and theater actor. She won an Olivier Award in 1996. In 1985, she met Dennis Lawson, who played Wedge Antilles in the original Star Wars trilogy.
Stay on target.
They actually started a really long relationship. She would reprise the role of Rachel in the 2000 movie Highlander Endgame. In 2003, Gish lost her right eye to skin cancer.
Oh, my God.
Awful. In March 2004, Lawson and Gish married in Antigua almost 20 years after they met. She died of cancer in 2005 in Camden, London, at the age of 62.
Good Lord, both of these just get married and die a year later. It's so sad.
Awful. Hugh Quarshie was cast as Sunda Castigir, Connor's fellow immortal and friend. He is beheaded by the Kurgan during a battle in New York.
Ha ha ha, let's have some drinks.
Which then has the worst scene in the movie with the weird... super pro-Reagan guy running after the Kurgan with guns.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to shoot the guy.
It makes not only that, he's just driving by. It's just two guys sword fighting. He's like, oh, here we go. Oh, it's my time now.
He was looking. He wanted to shoot somebody.
Yeah, he's the Bernard Getz.
Yeah,
character.
exactly.
You know, he's looking
like,
around.
oh, I gotta save somebody.
Wait, is that a black guy with a sword? Let me get my gun.
Decapitate that guy. Yeah.
Well, I guess he killed the black guy. I can probably leave now.
Quarshie is of mixed Ghanaian, English, and Dutch ancestry. He was born in Accra, Ghana. His mother was of chiefly ancestry, meaning her relatives currently serve as the chiefs of the Ghanaian village of Albi.
All right.
Yeah, so he's royalty, technically.
That's awesome. I liked him. I thought he was fun.
He was great. I thought that scene with them meeting on the that was one of the few times where Christopher Lambert actually looked natural and normal.
Hey, friend of mine, you have sword for fight? Let's just have a drink, and why don't you just shut up?
Quarshie has made appearances in Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend in 1985, starring William Catt, Sean Young, Patrick McGowan, and Julian Fellows. Also, Jim's favorite movie of all time.
I saw that in the theater, by the way.
Oh, really?
And the animatronics, because I love dinosaurs, man.
Yeah.
But the animatronics for Baby... Oh, God, it was so bad. It was just so bad.
I remember seeing the trailers, because it didn't do well, it was on, like, Cinemax or Showtime, like, all the time. And I remember seeing commercials for it and being like, I gotta see this. And then being so disappointed by how awful the animatronics were.
Yes, they marketed it well.
Yeah, I was like 10. It was awful. He was also in Nightbreed in 1990, written and directed by Clive Barker.
Okay.
Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace in 1999 as Captain Panaka, the head of the Naboo Security Force.
I'm Captain Panaka. I'm the head of the Naboo Security Force.
That's what I remember him from.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what when I realized who it was.
Hey, Queen Amidala, we'll hold them off while you get to the ship.
Yeah. He was really good in that. It was one of the better parts of Episode 1.
Great.
He was also in Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald in 2018.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo, boo, boo.
He's also done a ton of British TV, most notably appearing in 506 episodes of Holby City, a weekly medical drama spin-off from the BBC series Casualty.
I have no idea what either of those are.
It's essentially soap operas, but set in like hospitals, like General Hospital.
Okay.
but more medical-based. Holby City started in 1999 and ran until 2023. Quarshie started on the series in 2001, finishing up a 21-year run in 2022.
Good for him.
That's awesome. That's a lot. He most recently can be seen in Book Club, the next chapter, released in 2023.
Is that the one with the oldies?
The hotly anticipated sequel to Book Club from 2018, starring
Diane Keaton, Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Mary Steenburgen, Craig T. Nelson, Giancarlo Giannini, Andy Garcia, and Don Johnson. Good cast.
I don't remember this movie coming out.
I do. I think it's on Peacock or
Paramount.
Yeah. I thought about. I mean, it's got I like the.
I like most of the actors. In fact, all the actors. Yeah.
I can't think of any I don't.
Other notable actors in Highlander are Christopher Malcolm, who is best known for originating the role of Brad Majors in the stage version of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Nice.
Peter Diamond, a stuntman who played the Tusken Raider that attacked Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. Celia Imrie, who made an appearance in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and appeared in 5 seasons of Better Things from Pamela Adlon and Louis C.K.
Okay.
I've never watched that show. I've heard such good things about it.
I did, yeah. She plays like a single mom.
Yeah, she's so
hilarious.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so good. Billy Hartman, who has only appeared in one other feature, Slaughter High in 1986, but has appeared in 1,172 episodes over 16 years on Emmerdale Farm, a British soap opera.
Yeah, Emmerdale Farm. Yeah, I'm sure.
It must be a daily show. That's what
I guess. If it's weekly, yeah, doesn't make sense.
That's a lot. Almost 1,200 episodes. It's crazy. James Cosmo, a Scottish character actor who also appeared in
Braveheart, Trainspotting Troy, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Ben-Hur, and Wonder Woman, as well as television series such as Game of Thrones, Sons of Anarchy, His Dark Materials, and Jack Ryan. Oh my God, you totally recognize him.
Yeah, he's one of those actors that is just in everything.
Yeah, Cosmo, he's just got that look of a bad guy.
Well, when we were watching Highlander, I was like, that's James Cosmo.
And my God, he looks exactly the same as he did 40 years ago. The guy, he's one of those dudes.
People.
Looks 60 since he was 20.
All right, so in preparation for the film, actor Christopher Lambert spent months working 4 hours each morning with a dialect coach and 4 hours in the afternoon sword training with Bob Anderson, who had been a Darth Vader stunt double in the Star Wars franchise.
Okay.
So now you know why the fighting is the way it was.
Well, look, the Star Wars fighting wasn't as bad as this.
Yeah, but it's the Star Wars fighting in the original Star Wars.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty
the
thin.
first movie. It was very basic. Yeah.
Yeah, this just looks. They needed an extra. Well, first of all, they should have added 2 hours to the dialect and 2 hours to sword training.
Do you think it would have helped?
I talk for English now. Swing sword on you. I swing sword on you, Highlander. It's not the dialogue, Chris. It's not I swing sword on you.
You don't have to narrate everything you're doing.
Steppy, steppy, swing sword to you.
The opening voiceover by Connery has an echo effect because it was recorded in the bathroom of his Spanish villa, where he had been working on his Spanish accent for the film with a voice coach.
Yes, and I was taking a dump at the time. People don't know that.
It was played for the producers over the phone, and they approved of it because they could not discern the quality of the recording.
Sure.
Welcome to Highlander. Clancy Brown said of the production,
"It was a strange set. We were all trying to make a good movie, and the producers were trying to make money any way they could. So there were a lot of things we had to work around. Do it on the cheap because of those producers."
Yeah, they didn't want to spend any extra money they had. No. They didn't have to. As an example of the lengths to which the producers were prepared to go to save production costs, they initially decided on the first day of filming that the extras would not receive breakfast.
Hey, guys. Yeah,
God, I wish there'd be one episode we could go without having Bob stop by. Oh, sorry. Hi, Bob.
Hi. Well, stop covering really bad movies. I'll stay home. But, yeah. Look, we're not a restaurant. We're a movie studio.
Yeah.
We make movies. We don't make breakfast. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Well,
I don't feed my kids breakfast. Or lunch or dinner.
That explains a lot.
Well, they're very skinny.
Oh, my God. All right. Well,
Frankie.
Thanks for stopping by.
They're in their 30s.
Bob. So the crew threatened to leave, but only when one of the assistant directors threatened to bring in Connery to force the issue did the producers back down.
We're bringing in Connery if you don't back down.
You don't want to get Connery.
He's right outside the door.
Yes. Don't get me started. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
The tension also led the largely Scottish extras to burn then Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher in effigy.
Well, to be fair, it didn't take much prodding to burn her in effigy back then. Everybody hated the Iron Lady.
No. The Highlander original orchestral score was composed by Michael Kamen. Kamen collaborated with Pink Floyd for the score to Pink Floyd The Wall in 1982.
Look, the score's great for the time.
I don't know if I'd say great. It was fine.
I don't know who was the agent for Queen at the time.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, is there a crappy movie? Queen will do the music for it. And their Queen songs were great.
Yeah. Michael Kamen also provided the score to The Dead Zone in 1983.
Much better score.
In 1985, he scored Brazil for Terry Gilliam, scored additional music for Life Force. Most of the score was composed by Henry Mancini.
What?
Life Force?
Yeah, I know. I didn't know Henry Mancini did the...
Life Force is another one of those movies. That's a huge guilty pleasure because it is really not good.
No, it's just the movie you watched when you were 13 and you wanted to see a naked woman walk around for 5 hours.
90 minutes, yeah.
And listen to Henry Mancini music, apparently.
He also scored Edge of Darkness, a BBC miniseries in which he collaborated with Eric Clapton. Kamen would go on to score
Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Adventures in Babysitting, The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard 2, Hudson Hawk, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, The Last Boy Scout, Lethal Weapon 3, The Last Action Hero, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Event Horizon, The Iron Giant, X-Men, Band of Brothers, and Open Range.
These are all much better scores than...
Well, you got to start somewhere. Not everybody hits it out of the park.
It's not terrible. It's just, it was like, it's Michael Kamen, and then...
It's the 80s. It's synth time. And he didn't have a lot of money, probably.
Oh my God, so much synth. Yeah, he probably did it in like 3 days.
He's the one that came up with... From Lethal Weapon.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's a saxophone.
Yeah. Kamen was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 1997. He died in London, England, from a heart attack on November 18th, 2003, at the age of 55.
Good Lord.
Amazingly that he did all of this work before he was 55.
He was great. And look, this movie is cursed.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of being immortal.
No,
everybody seems to be dying really young.
Very immortal. The British rock band Marillion turned down the chance to record the soundtrack because they were on a world tour, a missed opportunity which guitarist Steve Rothery later said he regretted.
Have you ever listened to Marillion?
No.
They're really good.
Oh,
I think you would actually like Marillion.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll check them out. The band's Scottish lead singer Fish had also accepted a part in the film, but pulled out because of the scheduling conflict.
I can't do it because of the schedule.
His name is Fish.
My name is Fish.
David Bowie, Sting, and Duran Duran were considered to do the soundtrack for the film. Surprisingly, they all turned it down.
Yeah.
The eventual soundtrack includes several songs by Queen, such as A Kind of Magic and Princes of the Universe, the latter also being used for the Highlander television series title sequence.
Great. I guess Queen didn't really have much discerning taste.
Brian May was inspired to write Who Wants to Live Forever after watching the love scenes between Connor and his wife Heather, and the song ultimately accompanied the film.
Nice. There weren't any really love scenes between he and his wife.
There was like a montage-ish, like them together.
Rolling around.
Yeah. Well, no, there's at one point, and then
smooch.
right before Connery steps above them and he's watching them, like, make love. Do you remember that?
Ah, look at you, a couple of randies.
But I just love the song is so not good.
I don't know. I love it.
Mercury pulls that note for so long. It's great.
He's a genius.
Highlander opened in Los Angeles on March 7th, 1986. The film had a 116-minute running time in the United Kingdom and a 111-minute running time in the United States. Roughly 8 minutes of footage was cut from the film for its U.S. theatrical release.
Yeah, that's why it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. Most of the cuts were sequences involving a specifically European brand of humor, which the distributors thought American audiences would not find funny.
I don't get it. What's a cup of tea?
Such as Connor being repeatedly headbutted by one of his Klansmen.
Yeah, because Scots like to headbutt.
They got very hard heads.
Yeah.
The duelist shooting his assistant, which we saw in our version.
So we must have seen
that was cut out. I think we did see the British version or the international.
The international version.
But there's definitely something. And then the Kurgan licking the priest's hand.
We saw that.
That was in there as well. The cut Mulcahy found most objectionable was the deletion of the scene showing how Connor met Rachel because he could see no reason for its removal and believed that the relationship between Connor and Rachel was incomprehensible without it. She was the girl he saved in the Holocaust.
Right. But which they put back, which
we saw, which definitely made more sense.
Yeah,
and I know that I definitely did not see that version the first time because I do not remember there being a World War II thing.
Yeah, but it also was like, why? It's only 30 seconds long.
Yeah, and it totally makes sense for the character. It made me appreciate the character more, that she's like, oh yeah, it's like a father figure.
That's stupid.
You gotta get it under 120 minutes. Just cut it. Just cut it out.
The film grossed $2.4 million on its opening weekend and ended with $5.9 million in the U.S.
Now, I don't remember if I saw this in the theater.
In the theater? Oh,
I probably did.
I'm sure you did.
I probably did because I saw just about everything in the theater.
Internationally, the film grossed $12.9 million, so it made some money. Upon initial U.S. release, Highlander was not well received. Variety stated that there were
entertaining moments, but the total work is a mess.
People described it as
a moody combination of Blade Runner, The Terminator, and your last really good nightmare. Okay.
That's a great description of the movie. It has since become a cult film in both domestic and non-domestic markets, leading to 4 sequels, a television series, and various other spin-offs.
Yep.
All right, here we go. We're going through all of them. The film was followed by 2 direct sequels, despite only making $12.8 million against a $19 million budget.
Oh, you can do it right this time.
Talk about failing upwards.
Oh, yeah.
Highlander 2: The Quickening was released in 1991 and met with an overall negative response, with some considering it among the worst films ever made.
Yeah, it's not as good as the first.
No. It was directed by Russell Mulcahy again and starred Christopher Lambert, Virginia Madsen, Michael Ironside, and Sean Connery.
Hey, I'm back. Look, I found my head. I screwed it back on my neck.
It made $15.6 million against a $34 million budget. Mulcahy reportedly hated the final product so much that he walked out of the film's world premiere, reportedly doing so after viewing only 15 minutes.
I don't blame him.
Yeah. In 1992, a television spinoff was developed entitled Highlander: The Series.
Okay, clever.
It was shown in syndication from October 3rd, 1992 to May 16th, 1998.
People loved it.
Adrian Paul starred as Duncan MacLeod, another immortal from the same clan as Connor, born decades later. Okay. Soon after Duncan realizes he is immortal, Connor finds him and trains him for years before they both part ways.
Hey, you are immortal me, like, I train you. Can you tell by my accent I am Scottish too?
Christopher Lambert reprised his role as Connor MacLeod for the first episode and was mentioned again in several subsequent episodes.
Yeah.
Highlander 3: The Sorcerer, also known as Highlander: The Final Dimension, released in 1994 and retroactively erased the canon of Highlander 2, acting as an alternate sequel to the first film.
Ugh.
You've seen Highlander 2?
I've seen them all, I'm pretty sure.
They tried to make it seem that the Immortals were actually aliens and that they had come from somewhere else.
Okay.
Totally negating everything in the first movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
So then Highlander 3 totally negated all that because, stupid is as stupid does.
Retcon.
The film starred Christopher Lambert, Mario Van Peebles, Deborah Unger, and Mako.
It was never a good sign for a franchise when you got Mario Van Peebles. Mario Van Peebles came in for Jaws: The Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Doing his impeccable Jamaican accent. Or maybe it was a Bahamian accent. Yeah. A slight difference.
Right.
Yeah, once you bring in Mario Van Peebles, and I love him.
Yeah.
But once you bring him in, oh, that's bad news.
It made $36.7 million against a $24 to $36 million budget. So theoretically could have made money.
I see a pattern here, though, of bad box office.
Yeah. Highlander, the animated series, ran from 1994 to 1986, set the 27th century on a post-apocalyptic Earth now ruled by an immortal named Cortan. Which, again, that doesn't follow I don't understand.
No, because he must have won the quickening or whatever, and then he took over.
Christopher Lambert did. This is where it's like...
But not forever.
I mean, I guess that they're more of them born.
Sure.
Like they're, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't last forever, man.
So you're going to sing? You're going to sing? Forever.
Nothing lasts forever.
No, it was the song when they're making love.
I was going to do the other Queen song.
Love you forever.
Nice. You should start a Queen tribute band.
Oh my God. A spin-off of Highlander the series called Highlander the Raven premiered in 1998, featuring the popular character Amanda Daryou from the original show.
What is it with Highlander that it just won't? That they won't let it die? I mean, what is it?
I mean, ostensibly the show did much better than any of the movies did.
Well, yeah,
but I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know. The movies Highlander Endgame in 2000 and Highlander The Source 2007 follow the continuity of the TV show Highlander the series. Both movies received negative reviews from fans of both the original film and the TV show.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
The anime... That was Highlander Endgame actually brought back a lot of the characters from the original movie.
Except me.
Yeah, no Sean Connery. The anime movie Highlander The Search for Vengeance in 2007, which existed in its own continuity with protagonist Colin MacLeod, received largely positive reviews, just to make it even more confusing.
Well, look, anime usually does it right.
Yes, and I've not seen this, so that's something I need to seek out.
Yeah. I mean, look, there was a great anime series of Cyberpunk 2077.
Right.
There's some great anime adaptations of things because they're just nuts.
They do well, and they actually know story. They do story.
It's true.
Yeah. In March 2008, Summit Entertainment announced that it had bought the film rights to Highlander and was remaking the original film.
Not without me.
Well, they are.
Oh, yes. I died.
Chad Stahelski was announced as a new director of the reboot, which has been described to be John Wick with swords, with the reboot planned as a possible trilogy.
Sure.
Stahelski directed the John Wick stuff, so I mean,
okay. Look,
very on the nose.
I get it. I mean, that would work for this.
Yeah,
that type of dark, brooding world, and
much faster, better choreographed.
Oh yeah.
In May 2021, Henry Cavill was confirmed to play the lead role in the film, although his exact character was unknown.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll just make him English or something, and
so he can actually use his real accent?
Yes.
In October 2023, Lionsgate was moving forward with the reboot, with Cavill starring as MacLeod and Stahelski directing from a screenplay by Mike Finch. The project is expected to begin filming in early 2024.
Okay, interesting. Look, that's a good group of folks.
I love Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
And I will be willing to give it a shot.
Look, I love him. Is he good enough to save something? No. He didn't save any of the Snyderverse crap.
Well, yeah, but Snyderverse is just a tsunami of crap.
But he wasn't bad in it. He was good as Superman.
Yeah.
He was great as The Witcher. Yeah. Ugh, there's some pictures of the new Witcher that are freaking people out.
Oh, really?
Not my Witcher. That's what I say. # not my Witcher. Henry Cavill's great. He is like the perfect action guy. He's like the new dude,
Yeah, yeah.
He's a good actor. Look, I think done right, and if they really explore the mythology of it, and make
agreed
a coherent script that
right.
doesn't have a bunch of actors switching places and being French when they should be Scottish, and Scottish when they should be Egyptian, and Egyptian when they should be Scottish. Don't make those same mistakes. Then I think you gotta, you have something there. There's something there that could be done well.
Yeah.
They just haven't done it yet.
I don't have high hopes, but I want to be proven wrong. Like, I want this to be a good movie.
Sure.
I want Highlander to be a good movie. And I think this is part of the reason why I hate this movie so much. Because it seems like I love the concept of immortality and, like, exploring in that way. Like, I really find it really fascinating. And this movie just bumbled everything.
Well, it seems to be kind of the case with both of this and Explorers.
Yeah.
They're both interesting concepts that were done the worst way possible.
Exactly.
And look, they may be remaking Explorers too.
Yeah.
Not Explorers 2, but Explorers as well.
Yeah.
And if they can stick the landing, great.
Yeah.
But these guys, they didn't do it.
No. It just is a jumbled mess. It it's hard. It's hard to watch. Like I had to let go of a lot of hate watching this movie.
Oh, it's just honestly, man. Christopher Lambert is a goon. Is a weirdo.
Should not have been the lead in this movie.
I'm sorry,
all.
Chris, but you are a goon. You're not charismatic. You come across as about as dumb as a box of rocks. Your face has two expressions, nothing and surprised.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
He overacts so hard. Like when he approaches the metallurgy expert in the bar, like he talks to her first and essentially was like following her.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and she's following him, and then he grabs her by the throat and is like, "Stop following me.
Got to be
it's
quiet."
Like, you started this.
Yeah. Look, his instincts are all bad and wrong. The fact that he didn't speak English until this movie, I will give him that. Because, look, if I was having to do a movie in Japanese or something, I probably would come across as like a goon, too, because I'm not sure which words are what and which ones to hit, and, you know.
But there was I Am Love. Did you see I Am Love? It's an Italian movie. It's starring, I believe it's Tilda Swinton.
Okay.
Who never spoken Italian before and learned it for the movie. And it's flawless.
Yeah, because Tilda Swinton is a genius. I mean, she's a very smart person.
But I'm saying it's possible.
It is, but not everybody is Tilda Swinton. I mean, poor Christopher Lambert is just a working class jerk from
with the big
Paris.
brown dumb eyes.
There's
just so many things about this movie that just drive me insane.
Look,
not the least of which being that we've had to deal with this for almost 40 years now of this nonsense and crap.
Well, and it's not like it got a lot better in subsequent entries into the canon.
It got to the point with the worst franchises where the people that really liked the bad stuff, the new stuff came out and they liked it because they thought it was worse than the bad stuff they liked.
Look, there are certain bad movies that are fun to watch because they're just crap, but they're crap that you can have fun with.
Right.
And this was something in college that you can get high with your buddies, throw it on, and just do what we did, which was just make fun of it.
I had a lot more fun watching it with you than I did the first time I saw it, which was alone, and I'm just getting angry and angry at how stupid the movie was.
It's not a fun movie to watch by yourself because you're just like, you got nobody to say anything to. You just want to call somebody up and be like, boop, 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 boop. Look, have you seen Highlander? What? Yeah, years ago. Well, look, does it make any sense to you?
Why is this movie so stupid?
It was thin. It's very 80s. It's a very 80s B movie. And you're right. It's trying to be Black Rain. It's trying to be, a Ridley Scott flick. It's trying to be this Blade Runner.
Terminator. Like, it's trying to be so many things.
But it doesn't succeed at being any of them.
No, it fails miserably.
But if you want to have a few bevies.
Yeah.
Maybe smoke us a wee, have a few buddies over and eat some burgers and, watch this and make fun of it. You'll have a fun time. You
should do a double feature of this in the sequel.
Sure.
Because you're going to be really drunk to appreciate the sequel.
Yeah. This is great. But, yeah, it's not, watching it again, it's not a movie that I hated. It's a movie that I thought was a fun, dumb B movie that you can make fun of with your friends. But watching it again, good points, nice transitions, some good shots, some interesting cinematography. But the counter to that is not everything cut well together, and there was a lot of continuity errors because
some pretty atrocious acting from a few people.
Really bad acting. I'm looking at you, Christopher Lambert. And I'm looking at you, Anthony Fusco.
I know I'm in the minority on this. I know most people I know really love Highlander. And that's part of the reason I watched it for the first time 10 years ago. Because I just had zero interest in it. It just looks stupid to me.
Yeah.
And it, which is funny because I'm a sci-fi guy.
Right.
I'm
time travel.
I'm liking, fantasy more.
Sure.
And it was just... Like, I was mad. Greg got me to watch this, and I was mad at him for making me watch it.
Greg.
So I'm sorry, Greg.
Well, look, Greg probably had the same experience I did, which was it was a fun B movie to watch with your friends. And
yeah, he's a total apologist for this movie, and I get it. I mean, if I had seen this when I was 12, I would have thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, look, I saw it as a teenager. It was a fun goof movie. I've always had a big talent crush on Clancy Brown.
He's good in this. I will give him that.
He's not.
I mean, not good, but he fits the movie. He fits
does.
what they were trying to do.
He does the absolute best that he could do with the material he was given.
Just that long driving sequence that's like 40 minutes. Like, what is that?
Oh yeah, where he's got her in the car. He's got
driving around into oncoming traffic.
He's got Brenda in the car with him. And
yeah,
he's just like, you ever play chicken?
And it goes on for so long.
She's screaming and crying, and
I guarantee you that was left in the U.S. theatrical cut, but they cut out the stuff about Rachel and her being found in World War II because executives are dumb.
Well, because they think Americans are dumb. They just want car chases and blow-em-ups. They don't care about story or continuity or script or dialogue.
I will give it the fact that I really want the new movie, the new adaptation of it, to be really good, just to show just how bad this version is.
Great. I would love to see a good Highlander, and I think if anybody can make it happen, it's this group.
Yeah,
they have the pedigree.
Yeah.
To turn it into something that's brooding and interesting, and
as
long as they have fun with it. The thing is, a lot of times when they reboot or remake, they make it too dark or they take it too seriously, and they try to make it into something that's got a lot of gravitas.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're making a B movie. You got to lean into that and lean into the fun. We're not going there to see Connor McLeod mourn the death of his wife. We're there to see some heads get cut off.
Well, and this is why Clancy Brown, Sean Connery, and the guy who plays Castigear from episode 1,
right?
They all had fun with it. Like, they knew that they were in a B movie, and they knew that it was just like, all right, whatever, man. Immortals getting their heads cut off. Let's go with it.
I think Christopher Lambert saw this as his ticket to stardom in the United States.
Took it way too seriously.
Totally did, and every instinct that he had was wrong. Wrong. The guy's got the worst instincts as an actor. And maybe, again, it ain't easy acting in a foreign language.
Yeah, it's not.
But mannerisms, physicality transcends language, and you can make choices based on knowing what the scene's about that would be different and better.
Right. Yes.
And he just makes bad choices. Like, I don't understand Christopher Lambert. He does not seem like a human being to me.
No, he's very uncanny valley.
He is an AI creation of an actor.
Yeah.
Create me a weird actor from the 80s, AI, and I here to play for in your movie. Highlander, cut head for face. What? What are you talking about, Chris?
All right. Well, that's all I got.
So that's verdict.
I still hate this movie.
Verdict? Haterade.
I hate it. I just hate it.
Okay.
And then mostly because I want it to be better. And I don't want to build up hopes for the new version.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to leave that off the table. But
Got a very low bar.
I want there to be a better version of this movie.
Okay. All right. So Haterade, 2 up, 2 down, 2 hates. No attitudes change for the Explorers or for the Highlander. Next, what's coming up next is the...
it's my other choice.
Autobots. Time to make Adam cry.
Now, here's the thing. The Transformers, the movie, I didn't necessarily hate the movie. I was just shocked by how boring it was.
Well, this is going to be a saddie because... To me, there's nothing sadder than something that you loved as a kid and you revisit and then you hate it.
Yeah.
Because that, if the nostalgia can't take it through, then it's got to be really bad. Now, I know I've seen this.
Yeah.
Because this is the one. Is this the one with?
Came out in with Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. I am a planet.
It was a go between, and we'll talk about this more next week. But like, it was a go between season 2 and 3 of the show, and it was mostly done to make a new toy line.
Autobots to the toy store. Let's sell some merch.
It's really kind of sad the way that the movie came together, but it'll be fun to talk about.
Yeah, our next entry into the Haterade oeuvre is Transformers the movie. Until then, keep your heads, people, and watch this if you want. We ain't gonna make you.
We watch movie now. Go yes.
Highlander me, cut for the head. My mommy. The Adam Newberry story. Newberry?
Yep, shit. That's Adam Newberry, 2 Weens.
I know Adam Newberry. All right, Adam Newberry.
All right, let's do it.
And that's where everything fell into place. That sounds just like the other guy. The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Sorry. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. T.J. Hooker, already in progress.